Field coming back to the line in the Lucas Oil 200 as the pace cars made its way back onto pit road. About to go back to green flag racing. It goes in the air. Bobby Gerhardt out in front of the field at Daytona. That might be why Bill Gerhardt was celebrating. He saw Bobby Gerhardt get out front. Doesn't think there's a car in this field that can pass them.
You know, I was watching that replay of Billy celebrating with his crew, and they hadn't wrecked yet. So they were celebrating the fact that Bobby got the lead, not that they were wrecking behind him.
Behind him, a very stout race car. That's John West Townley in the 15. He won the pole earlier. A little bit slow on the track. Milka Duno, we saw her leading the first 11 laps of this race.
Yeah, one of the strong cars in the field, but very, very slow at the exit of turn number 2 as you see the field going now through 3 and 4.
Benarini's got 4 cars in this race.
Had.
We're down to 1, I think.
They had. And it's been their luck at this race.
No kidding.
They had so much strong equipment. And we got a tire shedding now.
Looks like Will Kimmel, the 68 car. Will finished 3rd in this race last year, but looks like a tire came apart at the exit of turn 4. You don't know whether he ran through some debris from that earlier accident. He was running in the 5th spot.
Yeah, the left side tire just deteriorated as he came out of turn number 4. We saw it flying apart, and they're going to go to work, see if they can get some left side tires put on that race car.
You can see obviously not ready for that pit stop. It just happened coming off turn number 4.
3 cars separating themselves, but Chris Buescher in the 17 numerous laps down, so not on the lead lap. Caution now comes out. 3rd caution has come out now.
More than likely for the debris from the tire from Will Kimmel. Now Milka Duno is finally making her way on the pit road. She just now is on pit road as the field comes off turn number 4. You see Will Kimmel, you see the car start smoking a little bit.
Left rear was flat.
Left rear was
already been flat.
And now it comes apart.
Yep.
Tears up the left rear quarter panel a little bit. Some of the crush panel comes out from under the car.
Look at the debris on the racetrack. Let's go back to pit road and Ray.
Well, thank you, Rick. I'm back here at the Infield Care Center, and obviously Bubba Wallace very disappointed with tearing up his car. But I'll tell you, you've got a whole season to chase down a championship here, and this is a tough way, Justin, to start the season at Daytona.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough deal to come here and you know, get out of the race with a torn up race car. It's a shame we got 2 tore up race cars this early in the race. It's definitely a place that you want to come show really well. It's a bummer. It really is.
That is Justin Boston, Z-Loop, his sponsor, planning on chasing a championship this year in ARCA. Tough start of the season here at Daytona.
You could see from that video that he really rapidly approached the car in front of him, and that's when the contact was. So Justin had to hit the brakes to keep from running into the car in front of him, and that's when Darrell Wallace Jr. got in the back of him. Really not much Darrell could do.
Difficult situation. We are under the 3rd caution once again for the Lucas Oil 200. Celebrating the 50th anniversary of ARCA visiting Daytona International Speedway. Talked about the young men joining us up here in the booth. Development driver for Hendrick Motorsports back in 2004. Came from 1 lap down, and that was before the days of the free pass to win the Daytona ARCA 200 in 2004. Busch's career has obviously skyrocketed from there. He won 2 ARCA races in 2003 at Kentucky Speedway and Nashville Speedway. And talk a little bit about what ARCA racing did for you to really lay a foundation for your career.
Well, the ARCA series was obviously one of the stepping stones to the NASCAR ranks, you know, whether it's the Truck Nationwide Cup. But in 2003, I was able to get some starts in the ARCA series and some starts in the then Busch series, and sort of get the experience level of the big speedways, of the Nashvilles, the Kentuckys, the Poconos, Michigans, and then of course the pit stops and all that stuff that goes along with it. So you know, running in real cup cars at these speedways was what it was all about, and being able to compete at this sort of level with the support of Hendrick Motorsports and all those guys. I had Gary Dehart as my crew chief, so old Winston Cup Championship crew chief. You know, it was a lot of fun in those days, and man, we had a blast running the races that we did. And I remember it was our first start at Nashville. We were able to win that thing, and then you know, followed it up with a win at Kentucky. We had a couple other really good runs going, but unfortunate circumstances took us out from being able to win a couple more.
And at that time, the cars were really pretty much identical to a cup car.
They were, yeah. You know, like
same wheelbase, same.
Exactly. Like we see today, they're a lot different. Obviously, the looks and everything like that. But you know, the ARCA was certainly a big stepping stone for me.
And it's worked out obviously very well.
Yeah.
24 Sprint Cup wins already for Kyle Busch. Thursday, the biggest stars of NASCAR return to the World Center of Racing for the Budweiser Duel at Daytona. Don't miss 2 white knuckle races as they set the field for the 500. It's the Budweiser Daytona Thursday, 2 Eastern, live on Speed. That's always a white knuckle event, isn't it, Kyle?
It's going to be worse this year because I was just reading the rules about all that, and nobody's guaranteed a spot anymore.
We're going back like it used to be.
We're going back like it used to be. So you're going to have to make your way into the show. And if there's a 15-car pileup on the backstretch and you qualify 30th, you might be going to the house. And your name might be Dale Jr. or somebody in that nature. Myself.
I was getting ready to say, you're kind of throwing him under the bus early, aren't you? Green flag back in the air. Coming up to speed, Bobby Gerhart out in front. John West Townley running second. The slower lap car, the 17 of Chris Buescher on the inside.
This might not be good for John West here.
Yeah, I don't think Bobby Gerhart would mind Chris Buescher being behind him. Remember, 2 years ago, Chris Buescher followed Bobby Gerhart all the way to the checkered flag and finished second in his rookie year.
Numerous young drivers, when you ask them if there's a strategy that they have coming into Daytona, they say, well, anywhere near Gerhart will be good. Jim Trado.
And that is the plan. Gary Rill, the crew chief for Chris Buescher, came down just moments ago to talk to Bobby Gerhart under caution, said, we are going to stick with you. So watch that 17 suck up to the back of the 5. It was for first and second just 2 years ago. Now it's to help the 5, Bobby Gerhart, win number 9 with the 17 in a push, many laps down.
See John West there, the yellow car in the middle of the racetrack, trying to figure out how to get back down to the bottom. Thomas Prater, the 2 car right now on his inside. There's Chad Bowden, the 52, right behind Prater.
I tell you what, that 15 car is hanging really, really good on the top side with absolutely nobody there helping him.
Riding along on the 16.
Ricky Ergot doing a nice job here. Ricky looking to go full time this year in the ARCA Racing Series, run a full schedule for the Coulters. Now we got John West has a little help up top.
Yep.
Yeah, now we got a line forming here.
Looks as though the 52 jumps up there behind John West Townley. We'll see if Chad Boat can help out. And Townley has been able to clear the 2 of Prater, so he could fall in behind the 17 if he wanted to get down to the bottom of the racetrack now.
He has pulled in behind the 17 of Chris Buescher. They're side by side about 6 rows deep behind that top 3.
The elusive Daytona win. It's been difficult for Frank Kimmel and probably one of the most star-studded resumes in the ARCA Racing Series. He only has 1 driver that has more wins than he does. Iggy Katona has 79 wins. He has 76, but he's never won at Daytona, and that's something that he definitely wants on his resume.
And he got back to victory lane last year with a couple wins. It had a bit of a dry spell for Frank, but he got back to victory lane, moved over to Thor Sport Racing. They had a great season, and looks to maybe get Iggy this year.
Once again, coming off of turn number 4, almost looked again like a little accordion effect. Some cars slowing down just a bit as they came out of 4. A lot bigger gaps in between the cars now than what we saw earlier in this race.
A lot of the drivers were talking about having a little bit more difficult time pulling up because of the little decrease in horsepower this season over last season.
Ray Dunlap.
Hey guys, just wanted to give you a quick update on Milka Duno. She's another one of those drivers hoping to run every race and chase a championship. Driving for Venturini Motorsports today, she had a problem with the transmission. Got stuck and she was in 3rd gear only, so they had to go to the garage and work on it. From what I can see, I think on scoring she's 5 laps down, so another disappointing day for one of the other Venturini cars.
Yeah, 2 of them caught up in the earlier incident. Darrell Wallace was involved, as well as Justin Boston. Those 2 Venturini Motorsport cars behind the wall, and then we saw the 35 of Milka Duno have to go behind the wall to work on the transmission. It's been John West Townley that has been the strongest of this group, as now he is running in the 2nd spot behind Bobby Gerhart.
Got a good view of Kyle Larson there in the Turner Scott Motorsports car. That's very, very potent car there out of Turner Scott Motorsports. Remember, they won with Brandon McReynolds at Talladega, and Brandon was leading when he got to the start of the trial well last year and ran out of gas, and that allowed Bobby Gerhart to get win number 8.
Jim Trado.
Well, Frank Kimmel on that bright yellow number 44 on the outside. That Ansel glove sponsor machine is a Toyota. They have been getting great mileage, but what they've done in this race, Kimmel and his team with crew chief Jared Prince have come down not once for fuel, but twice, the last on lap 20. So as some of these competitors he's racing with came down as early as lap 11 for fuel, Bobby Gerhart, you know, will want to stretch it. Kimmel had an assurance pit stop lap 20. He's right in the thick of things with a lot more gas than some of the other guys.
We've had a lot of caution laps too since that lap 11 pit stop by Bobby Gerhart and a number of the other guys. So I know Billy Gerhart thinks he's very comfortable right now to have enough fuel to get to the end, even if there is a green-white checker or two.
Yeah, so's about everybody else though. With those caution laps you mentioned, they're all pretty good too.
Closing in on the halfway point of this race, and as I mentioned earlier, there were some larger gaps in between the cars. Kyle, that's gone away. They don't look like they are giving themselves that cushion that they had just a few laps ago.
Yeah, we're only a couple laps away from halfway though, so there's still a long ways to go. There should be some more riding to do, but as you know, we're all antsy. We all want to lead every lap we can, and we want to get up towards the front. And of course, Frank's trying to work his way up through there. He's been pushing on the back bumper of Chad Boat and a couple other guys here that you know, just that outside lane just won't seem to get going here. We can't get enough cars up there to get the momentum rolling. And now you see Chad pull down into the bottom lane, and it's kind of leaving Frank and one other car behind him there by themselves.
One thing we haven't mentioned is that Tom Hessert was able to get back on the lead lap, get a free pass a couple cautions ago, and he's up in the top 15 now, but back in contention.
And Hessert was driving the car that the left rear tire came apart and was able to make it back to pit road, but as you mentioned, lost a lap.
See that sunshine as I exit turn number 4. Very disconcerting for a driver there, especially when you're running as close as you are to the car in front of you.
Yeah, it gets bad. I mean, you know, when we first make our first practice laps out there, every time you go to a racetrack again, which I've been around, I guess now my 9th season I'm starting here this year in the Cup Series, is the first thing we do is we always look, okay, well, where's the sun going to be? We know we need to set our visor and everything, and of course the tape on the windshield, because these Cup cars now this year with the laid back windshield a little bit more, it's going to be a different tape job. So our first practice, we got that all out of the way, and we're ready to go for the 500. You won't need it for tonight for the Sprint Unlimited.
Under the lights at Daytona, some of the most exciting racing, and we could end up under the lights here at Daytona at the end of this one.
And it was a pretty exciting Sprint Unlimited race last year, although it wasn't called that for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. There was a lot of action going on. Not that I meant it to be, but
Sparks. A lot of sparks.
A lot of sparks. I think the track bar mount was probably half the size it was when we started the race, but you know, fortunately we made it through. We ended up getting there towards the end and got hooked up with Tony Stewart, pushed our way up towards the front, and then right here at the start of the tri-oval, we pulled to the outside and got by Stewart right in the nick of time.
They've just passed the halfway point. 40 laps in the books, 40 to go. Bobby Gerhart looking to grab his 9th Daytona win in the ARCA Racing Series.